Are you ready for Junk Ranch Part 2? There were so many great vendors, and it was very warm out, I must say, but it was still a lot of fun and so many great finds that we're going to keep walking through. There was more than I could even cover in 2 or even 3 videos. It's a lot. So if you ever get the chance to come to Northwest Arkansas to Junk Ranch, let me know. It's a great place to go junking and find some serious treasures. I'm always on the lookout for vintage, and even if some things are made like I showed in a previous video, that they were making signs that looked vintage, that's okay with me because I don't usually spend a ton of money on antiques or anything like that. Now, if you're investing in antiques, then it would become much more important to you. But I just buy what I love. I don't care what's trending. I just know how I want my home to feel and what gets me excited to put in my home to make it feel cozy and personalized. And that's what I look for. And maybe you're the same. This was a great sugar and creamer in the blue and white, which is always classic. And they were in fantastic shape. And at $18, I don't think that was a bad price at all. These metal mixing bowls were different. Usually see the pottery. And lots of great furniture. If you're trying to furnish a space, this is a great place to find something unique. I have nothing against getting new furniture from a showroom, but mixing in a vintage piece or something with some great patina can sure warm up a room. And a lot of these older pieces are so well made, especially compared to the mid or lower priced new furniture, which is usually my budget in all reality. So a lot of times I look for repurposed or older pieces. This is a great booth. Every junk ranch that I've been to, they've been there, and I love their furniture pieces. This is where I bought those black shutters last year. They always have a lot of great furniture items and, home goods that look like maybe they were pulled out of an old house. A lot of good pieces here. I was seeing a lot of rustic wood. There was a little bit of white chippy is still popular, but some painted pieces, some chippy pieces, just about anything you can think of. In the previous video, I noted some of the vendors that I shared with you. And in this one, I'm trying to get pictures of their signs. These lockers were so unique. They were already sold, but just beautiful details on these. And Sweet Tea and Biscuits booth is that one. Most of these vendors you can find on Instagram. or Facebook. If you see a piece, some of them ship.
Good, how are you?
Now this booth really caught my eye. These are my new Texas friends. And if you've been around a while, you might know I grew up in Texas. So that little bit of Southwest flavor. Tin Heart Trading Company. It always grabs my attention. Gorgeous furniture pieces from Mexico. Great silverware and textiles. I've said before, when I'm filming, I can't be shopping. I can't do both. I miss so many things. And this great silverware was one thing I missed. I'm going to have to look them up on Instagram. This is a great sort of library looking piece. Lots of good textiles. And this one was a new friend as well, and she does weekly live sales on Instagram. And she had just so many beautiful finds. Calm and collected antiques. There were many, many things I could take home from this booth. And cute dogs throughout the junk ranch, of course. Had to always check the pups out. And look what I spotted. These great lettuceware bowls. And I thought they said $10 for the set of 4. I nearly had a heart attack, but they said $70. Which was about the price range that they are these days. Thankfully, I was collecting when it wasn't on anybody's radar yet. And I have a pretty big collection, but I'll always add to it because I love the lettuceware, or some people call it cabbage. And this amazing cabinet, it was very big, so you would have to have the right space for it, but what a gorgeous piece that would just absolutely make a room. Beautiful in a dining room, a kitchen, a sunroom, a bathroom. There's just so many possibilities with a piece like that, and such great storage. More great silverware, and I see those baskets down below, which I didn't even see when I was filming. And she's a book lover like I am, and I'm going to show you something in a minute. And this hutch had really beautiful patina on it. It reminds me of the one I got at the estate sale. It's in my dining room right now. And here is this book cart, which was not for sale. But how gorgeous.
My problem is I can't film and shop.
This booth here, I know she does Round Top, and she's related to the people that put on this junk ranch. And what a gorgeous set of chairs. Even the tapestry, sort of embroidered seats were great, just probably need a cleaning. The rustic table. Loved a lot of her stuff. Those chairs. And that was a great price for 6. Here's more of her booth. The rugs and textiles she had were just stunning, stunning, outstanding. Again, a gorgeous sort of European farmhouse looking hutch. And she mixes the mid-century in with these vintage pieces and does a great job of it. I kind of like that too. There's a very limited amount of mid-century things that I like, or modern, more modern looking, mixed in with, of course, all the earthy pieces, and of course a Chesterfield. You can never go wrong. She said she has a green Chesterfield that she looked forever for in her house, and I'm sure it's absolutely gorgeous. And this was a rug, but honestly, I would use that as a wall hanging. The colors in it are really perfect. That earthy green and creams and beiges, and then that hit of that warm pink. Just so pretty as a wall hanging. Great pottery lamps. A little bit more mid-century, but then you can see how they would mix right in. Hey, if you're liking this video, why don't you consider subscribing so you can get future home and wardrobe styling ideas. After Junk Ranch, there was plenty more to see. The whole town and the town next to it turns into a Junkin' Fest. There's shops and there are garage sales and on the side of the road sales. So I could have stayed all day and spent another day or two even. And so I stopped at this great little shop that's always a favorite of mine. I get a lot of inspiration here, and they had some great vintage type of pieces outside, but inside is mostly new or refurbished, reproduction, those kind of things, but just beautifully styled. And I always get ideas and inspiration here. And you can see there were some bargains to be had. But if you come inside with me, we're going to see what kind of ideas we can take home. I feel like you can get inspiration anywhere, a beautiful hotel or a restaurant or in nature or cute little shop. For your home, for your wardrobe, there are all kinds of ideas and inspiration everywhere that I look. For your garden, here's a great planter with succulents, and I love how they did those urns. And just some gorgeous flowering branches coming out of that wall pot. Just really great ideas to take home. And heading inside, who wouldn't want to go in here, right? A feast for the eyes. They have beautiful jewelry pieces and they have some clothing. I have found quite a few shirts and pieces of jewelry when I'm out antiquing, and they're some of my favorites. So just like you add a little something extra into your home, a vintage piece or a found item, you can do the same thing with your wardrobe and really get a personalized look. I believe this was an old house because there's the old kitchen there that they just converted into their shop because there are different rooms. I'm sure they had to take down some walls because this is a really spacious area, and most of those old homes have a bunch of walls up. But this is such a great character-filled shop, and as you can see, so many pretty finds and so many vignettes and styling ideas. Sometimes I'll take notes in my phone so that I'll remember, because a lot of times when you see so many things and you're just sure you're going to remember it when you get home, you're not going to remember it. I'll take a quick photo and put a note maybe. Really liked the touch of black. I love all the neutral backdrop here, black and cream and some antique wood. Those wall sconces were gorgeous. Really loved this little lettuce print. Botanical prints are always a favorite of mine. And just looking at this great table, those are the spools, and sometimes you can find those, and wouldn't that be great on a patio with some bistro chairs or bar stools, depending on how tall it is. And I just love the way they have it styled there. They do have artificial plants and greens in here, which I'm pretty particular about, and theirs are, they get the very high-end, nice-looking ones, so they look very realistic. So it just gives that plant room feel with the rustic wood and painted wood. Gorgeous little garden cart. And onto a little bit of clothing. Love a good weekender bag. And this one was really cute in all the neutrals. Neutrals don't have to be boring. And I had to try the hat. I love hats, and I feel like I need to start wearing them more. They're a lot of fun, especially if you're having a bad hair day, right? This is one of my favorite rooms. It's sort of all whites and bright colors, and the big wicker bag there mixed in. And of course, design books, which are always full of fun inspiration. And even a cookbook or two. Sunday suppers. We were doing that for a while. We were very consistent on Sunday dinner, and I need to get back to it because it was just a nice beginning of the week. And sometimes we had more people, and sometimes there were only 2 or 3 of us, and it didn't matter. It was great either way. What about you? Do you do a Sunday dinner or a special dinner where you make sure that you sit down at the table sometime during the week, at least once? Let me know in the comments. Had a hard time leaving this room. So many good things in there. Now in here were some really neat ideas in the next room. You can see even down the hallway, there's a lot to see. There's a white painted piece in the back here, this hutch, which was styled really nicely. And then this chippy table, and they put a bookshelf on top, which is probably too tall for your average house, but a nice idea. If you had a shorter bookshelf, you could put on top of a table or a desk or something like that. And then this was definitely my favorite. It's a cabinet on the bottom and then a not matching upper cabinet or hutch top that they put together to make one-piece furniture. I always like to call that Franken furniture. It's not very flattering, but it's where you put different pieces together and it ends up looking great, if you ask me. And it's a great way to add some warmth and character into a room. And then this rattan piece really caught my eye because a lot of times I love wicker and I love rattan, but a lot of times it's too orange or too yellow for a neutral, cooler palette. And I thought this nice gray on here really toned it down. I really need to look at the price on what that was because that would be great in a bathroom. And just another view of that gorgeous big room. And lots to see down the hallway again. The vintage looking fruit prints. I'm sure you or I could both find a place to add those into our house. Even though I get artwork home and I end up moving it around or not hanging it at all. Because I like things to feel uncluttered. So now I stopped at this gypsy boutique, which I've never gotten to go to, and this looks like it could be dangerous. They're having a big sale, but it was really hot outside, so it was kind of hard to get into looking at long-sleeved and sweaters, but they did have a lot of fun pieces to choose from that I know once the fall comes, I would love to have. So I stopped inside the store, and of course I had to check out another hat. And next door they have a great little coffee shop. That would be fun to visit. And I'm so glad you came along with me today to the second part of Junk Ranch. And I had such a great time with you. Be sure and come back again for more styling of your home and your wardrobe. And I will see you next time.